Okay, good morning, everybody.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
How are you this morning? Are you fine?
I'm fine, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, please turn on your video. So we start now. So this morning we are going to talk about organizational development. Yeah. So who will present this topic this morning?
Me, sir.
Who? Wayu. Wayanika, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So before we start our lecture, so we let you give the opening comment by saying your name and your condition and where you are now and what do you know, and you must say also what you know about organizational development. Okay, from Irfani, please. Irfani, are you in? Hello, Irfani. Okay, Tiffany first. Tiffany.
Okay, good morning, sir, and good morning, everyone. I'm in a very good condition today, and hope that all of us do. And today's class, we are just like the same before. We are going to have presentation, which will be done by one of our friends, Wahyu. And I hope that, and I'm sure that everything will run well from the beginning until the very end, and hope that we can have a great time by learning and discussing it together this morning. Thank you.
Okay. Putri Hermania.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, sir and everyone. So my name is Putri Hermania. Alhamdulillah, I'm in good condition right now. So today I want to learn more about HRM by see my friend's presentation. So good luck for the presenter. Thank you.
Okay, Tata, please.
Good morning, sir and everyone. My name is Nur Pratista Nitya Nadia Amara. Currently, I'm in good condition. I joined this class today because I want to see my friend presentation about chapter 24, about organizational development, change and transformation. So good luck for Wahyu as the presenter. Thank you, sir.
Sha.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir, and good morning, everyone. Alhamdulillah, I'm good condition, and the reason why I'm joining the Zoom because I want to learn more about organizational development, change, and transformation. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Irfani.
Assalamualaikum, sir. Alhamdulillah, today I'm actually really good and also in a good best condition. And also today I want to learn about the organizational development, also change and transformation. And then I hope for the presenter Wahyu will deliver the best presentation that make us understand about it. Thank you, sir.
Willa Shola Gracia.
So good morning, Sir Ade and everyone. My name is Willa. I'm in a good condition right now. Hope you guys in a good condition too. So today we will discuss chapter 24 about organizational development, change, and transformation. So what I know about organizational development is the practice of a planned systematic change in the belief, attitudes, and value of an employee for individual and company growth. And it helps organization achieve better effectiveness and enable an organization to be better respond and adapt to change and technological advance. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Dita Dwi Fitri.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, sir. Good morning, my friends. So now, my name is Nita Dwi Satri. Now I'm in good condition and I'm in Sampurna now. So the reason I attend this class today because I want to learn more about HRM, especially from the material that will be presented by Wahyu, which is about organizational development, change and transformation. So I hope you can understand the material and also I hope this morning class. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Arsa Wayuni. Arsa Wayuni, please. Hello, Arsa.
Told me that her signal is unstable, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay, please Muhammad Araji Bagaswara. Muhammad Araji Bagaswara.
Yes, sir.
Okay, please.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Everyone. Today I join this class because I want to hear my friend Wahyu presentation about organization behavior and thank you, sir.
Okay. Repilia Teresa.
Hello, good morning everyone and good morning sir.
Good morning.
Today I'm in good condition and hopefully everyone is also in good condition. So the reason why I joined the class today because I want to see my friend's presentation about organizational development and learn more about it. So based on my knowledge, organizational development is a critical and science-based process that help organization build their capacity to change and achieve greater effectiveness by developing, improving, reinforcing strategies, structures, and processes. Thank you.
Okay, Dewi Widarni.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Everyone. I'm in good condition right now. Today, I want to see my friend presentation about organization development. I hope that the presentation went well. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Elisa Febrianti. Elisa Febrianti. No. Kevin Nathanael.
Okay, good morning, sir, and good morning, all of my classmates. I hope you're all in good condition right now. Today, my friends Wahyu will present the chapter 24, that is organizational development. I hope I got the insight about it. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Adelia Putriadiko.
All right, so good morning, everyone. My name is Adelia, and Alhamdulillah, I'm in good condition right now. So the reason I joined class today is because I want to see our friend presentation with the material organizational development. I hope the presentation will run well. Thank you.
Okay. Wahyu Andika.
Okay, good morning, Sir Aldi and everyone. Today, as usual, I will continue to learn about the human resource, but this time I will be presenting about organizational development, change, and transformation. I hope my presentation do well. Thank you.
Okay, Adrian Yondo.
Okay, good morning, sir, and good morning, everyone. And reason today I join class is because I want to see my friend presentation, and I want to learn more about chapter 24. That is organizational development, change, and transformation. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so let us watch Wahyu Andika presenting his topic. Okay, the time is yours, Andika, please to present your topic. Share screen your PowerPoint.
Can you see my presentation?
Yes, it can be seen very well.
Okay. Okay, today we will continue to learn about human resource management, but this time I will present about organizational development, organizational change, and transformation. Okay, the overview that we will have to study maybe in the next 30 minutes or so. The first is organizational development, change management, and organizational transformation, and in the end is about development and change process. Organizational development, a planned systematic process in which applied behavioral science, principle, and practice are introduced into an ongoing organization toward the goal of effective organizational improvement, greater organizational competence, and greater organizational effectiveness. The focus is on organization and their improvement, or to put it another way, total system change. The orientation is on action achieving desired result as a result of planned activities. Okay, the short story begins with Kurt Lewin in 1947 to 1951, who developed the concept of group dynamic. Group dynamic is concerned with the way in which groups evolve and how people in group behave and interact. In 1945, emerged the process of T group or sensitivity test, in which participants in an unstructured group learn from their own interaction and the evolving dynamic of the group. The next is formative years. During the 1950s and 1960s, behavioral scientists developed the concept and approaches that together represent organizational development. They define the scope, purpose, and philosophy of OD, method of conducting OD, intervention, approach to process consulting, and methodology such as action research and survey feedback. Glory years of organizational development in the late 1960s and the 1970s were the day when behavioral science reigned and organizational development was seen as the answer to the problem of improving organizational effectiveness. Comprehensive program using the various approaches were introduced in a number of American businesses such as General Motors and Corning Glass. And next is the decline of organizational development. A typical criticism of organizational development by McLean in 1981 said there seemed to be growing awareness of appropriateness of some of the fundamental value, stance, model, and prescription inherited from the 1960s. Writers are facing up to the naivety of early belief and theory in what might be termed a climate of sobriety and new realism. Okay, new approach to improving organizational effectiveness. During 1980s and 1990s, the focus shifted from organizational development as a behavioral science concept to a number of other approaches, such as organizational transformation, team building, change management, and culture change or management. These are built on some basic idea developed by writer of organizational development and its practitioner. Other approaches, such as total quality management, continuous improvement, business process re-engineering, and performance management, could be described as holistic process to improve overall organization effectiveness. The tendency now is to rely more on specific interventions such as performance management, team pay, or total quality management than on all-embracing but somewhat nebulous organizational development program, which were often owned by the Human Resource Department and its consultant, and not by line management. Characteristic of the traditional approach to organizational development. Organizational development concentrates on how things are done as well as what they do. It was a form of applied behavioral science that was concerned with the system-wide change. The organization was considered as total system, and the emphasis was on the interrelationship, interaction, and interdependencies of different aspects of how systems operate as they transform input and output and use feedback mechanism for self-regulation. Okay, the assumption in traditional organizational development are most individuals are driven by the need of personal growth and development as long as their environment is both supportive and challenging. The work team, especially at the informal level, has great significance for feeling of satisfaction, and the dynamic of such team have a powerful effect on the behavior of their member. Organizational development program aim to improve the quality of working life of all members of the organization. Organization can be more effective if they learn to diagnose their own strengths and weaknesses. But managers often do not know what is wrong and need special help in diagnosing problems, although the outside process consultant ensure that decision-making remain in the hand of the client. The feature of organizational development program in the traditional are first, they were managed or at least strongly supported from the top, but often made use of third party or change again to diagnose problem and to manage change by various kinds of planned activity or intervention. Second, the plan for organization development were based upon a systematic analysis and diagnosis of circumstances of the organization and the change and problem affecting. Third, They use behavioral science grounding and aim to improve the way the organization copes in time of change through such process as interaction, communication, participation, planning, and conflict. These are the activities in organization development. Action research. Action research are systematically collecting data from people about process issue and feed it back in order to identify problem and their likely causes so the action can be taken cooperatively by the people involved to deal with the problem. The essential element of action research are data collection, diagnosis, feedback, action planning, action and evaluation. Survey feedback. This is a variety of action research in which data are systematically collected about the system and then feedback to group to analyze and interpret as the basis for preparing action plan. The technique of survey feedback include the use of attitude survey and workshop to feedback result and discuss implication. Intervention. The term refers to core structure activity involving client and consultant. Generate and help about valid information about their problem, create opportunity to search effectively for solution the problem, create condition for internal commitment to their choice and opportunities for the continual monitoring of the action taken. Process consultation. This involves helping client to generate and analyze information that they can understand and follow a throughout diagnosis act upon. The job of the process consultant as being to help the organization to solve its own problem by making it aware of organizational process, of the consequences of this process, and of the mechanism by which they can be changed. The next is team building intervention. This deal with permanent work team or those set up to deal with project or to solve particular problem. Interventions are directed toward the analysis of effectiveness of team process, such as problem solving, decision making, and interpersonal relationship, a diagnosis and discussion of the issue, and joint consideration of the action required to improve effectiveness. Intergroup conflict intervention aim to improve intergroup relation by getting group to share their perception of one another and to analyze what they have learned about themselves and the other group. The group involved meet each other to share what they have learned, to agree on the issues to be resolved and the action required. Personal intervention. This includes sensitivity training, transactional analysis, and more recently, neuro-linguistic programming. Another approach is behavior modeling for people to engage successfully in a behavior. First must perceive a link between the behavior and certain outcome. Second must desire those outcomes. Third must believe they can do it. Behavior modeling training can be getting by group identifying, develop, and practice the skill required by looking at the DVD to see what skill they can apply, role play, or etc. The use of organization development. The decline of traditional organization development partly caused by disenchantment with the jargon used by consultants and the unfulfilled expectation of significant improvement. There was also reaction against the perceived softness of the message by the behavioral scientists. Management in the late 1980s to 1990s want more specific of improving performance such as total quality management, business process re-engineering, and performance management. The need to manage change to process, system, or culture was still recognized as long as it was result-driven rather than activity-centered. Team building activity in the new process-based organization were also regarded favorably as long as they were directed toward measurable improvement in the shorter term. It was also recognized that organizations were often compelled to transform themselves in the face of massive challenge and external pressure, and traditional organizational development approach would not make a sufficient or speedy impact. The next section is change management. Change management is preparation for major change in the present and future as a means of strengthening the agility, the internal resilience, and preparation of the organization. The change process. The change process starts with a need for change, an analysis of the situation and the factors that have created, and then create diagnosis of the distinctive characteristic and indicator of the direction in which action need to be taken. It is then necessary to decide how to get from here to there. Planning change is not entirely logical and linear process of going from A to B. Implementation of change is an iterative, cumulative, and reformulation in use process. To manage change, it is first necessary to understand the type of change and why people resist change. This requires them to come to understanding of the various models of change that have been developed. Type of change. Strategic change. Deal with broad, long-term, and organization-wide issue. It is about the moving to future state. It will cover the purpose and mission of the organization, such matter as growth, quality, innovation, and value concerning people, the customer, and technology. It takes place in external competitive, economic, and social environment, and organization internal resources, capability, culture, structure, and system. The ultimate achievement of sustainable competitive advantage relies on the quality defined, namely the capacity of the firm to identify and understand the competitive force in play and how they change over time. Linked to the competence of a business to mobilize and manage resources necessary for the chosen competitive response through time. So the strategic change should not be underestimated and treated simplistically as linear process of getting from A to B and executed as logical sequence of events. Operational change. Operational change relate to the new system, procedure, structure, or technology, which will have an immediate effect on working arrangement within a part of organization, but their impact on people can be more significant than broader strategic change, and they have to be handled just as carefully. Resistance to change. Why people resist to change? The first is the shock of the new. People are suspicious of anything they perceive will upset their established routine. Economic fear. Economic fear can be loss of the money, inconvenience. They are afraid make their life more difficult. Uncertainty. It's worrying because there is uncertainty about to impact. Symbolic fear. Change affect treasured symbol like separate office or parking lot. Threat to interpersonal relationship, anything that disrupt the customary social relationship standard. Threat to status or skill. The change is perceived as reducing the status of them or the employee or de-skilling them. Competent fear. The employee concerned about ability to cope with new demand or acquiring new skill. Overcoming resistance. First step is to analyze the potential impact of change by considering how it will affect people in their job. In making this analysis, the individual introducing the change should recognize that new ideas are likely to be suspect and should make the ample provision for the discussion of reaction to proposal to ensure complete understanding of them. People involvement in the change process give place of concern and make suggestions about the change and how it should be introduced. They aim to get ownership of feeling amongst people that the change is something that they are happy to live with because they involved in explaining and introduction, it has become their change too. Communication about proposed change should be carefully prepared and worded so the unnecessary fears are allayed. Face-to-face communication direct from manager to individual or through team briefing are the best communication. Change model. Change model provide specific guideline to the organization through the process of planning and implementing change more successfully. The first is Lewin. In 1951, give basic mechanism for managing change. unfreezing, altering the present stable equilibrium which support existing behavior and attitude. The process must take account of the inherent threat that change present to people and the need to motivate those affected to change. Changing the developing new response based on the new information. Refreezing, stabilizing the change by introducing the new responses into the personalities of those concerned. Lewin's gestes a methodology for analyzing change can be called field force analysis, analyzing the restraining or driving force that will affect the transition to the future state. This restraining force will include the reaction of those who see change as unnecessary or as constituting a threat. The first is assessing which of the driving of restraining force are critical. Second, taking steps both to increase the critical driving force and to decrease the critical restraining forces. Beckhart in 1969 said a change program should incorporate this, setting goal and defining the future state of organizational condition desired after the change. First is diagnosing the present condition in relation to this goal. Second, defining the transition state activities and commitment required to meet the future state. Third, developing strategies and action plan for managing this transition in the light of analysis of the factor likely to affect the introduction of change. Truly, in 1979, give us 5 approaches to change program. The first is directive, the imposition of change in crisis situation or when other methods have failed. This is done by exercise of managerial power without consultation. Bargain. This approach recognizes that power is shared between the employer and the employee, and that change requires negotiation, compromise, and agreement before being implemented. Third, heart and mind. An all-embracing task to change the attitude, value, and belief of the workforce. This approach needs commitment and self-vision, but does not necessarily include involvement or participation. The fourth is analytical. It processes sequentially from the analysis and diagnosis of the situation through the setting of objective, the design of the change process, the evaluation of the result, and finally the determination of the objective for the next stage in the change process. The fifth is action-based. This recognizes that manager behave in practice bear little resemblance to the analytical theoretical model. What manager think is what manager do. This typical approach to change starts with the broad belief that some sort of problem exists. Although it might be not be well defined, the identification of possible solution, often on a trial and error basis, led to a clarification of the nature of the problem and shared understanding of a possible optimal solution, or at least a framework within which solution can be discovered. Quinn in 1980 said the approach is characterized as a process of artfully blending formal analysis, behavioral techniques, and power politics to bring about cohesive step-by-step movement toward ends which were initially conceived, but which are constantly refined and reshaped as new information appear. Quinn emphasized that it is necessary to create awareness and commitment incrementally, broaden political support, manage coalition, and empower champion. Nedrol and Stussman in 1980 said guideline to change problem. The first is motivate in order to achieve change in behavior by individual. Second, manage the transition by making organizational arrangement designed to assure the control is maintained during and after transition, and by developing and communicating a clear image of the future. Third, shape the political dynamic of change so that power center develop that support the change rather than block it. The fourth, build in stability of structure and process to serve as an anchor for people to hold on. Organization and individual can only stand so much uncertainty and turbulence. Bandura in 1986 said these are the way that people change. First, people make conscious choice about their behavior. Second, the information people use to make their choice come from their environment. Third, their choices are based upon the things that are important to them, the view they have about their own ability to behave in certain way, the consequences and they think will accrue to whatever behavior they decide to engage in. So on change management, the implications are the tighter the link between a particular behavior and particular outcome, the more likely it is that we will engage in the behavior. The more desirable the outcome is, the more likely it is what we will engage in the behavior that we will believe will lead to. The more confident we are that we can actually assume a new behavior, the more likely we are try it. To change people behavior, therefore, first, change the environment within which they work. Second, convince them that the new behavior is something they can accomplish. Third, persuade them that it will lead to an outcome that they will value. Okay, Beer Einstein and Spector. In 1990, they argue why change program don't produce change. Most programs are guided by theory of change that is fundamentally flawed. This theory states that change in attitude led to change in behavior. According to this model, change is like conversion of experience. Once people get religion, change in their behavior will surely follow. They believe that this theory gets the change process exactly backward. Beer, Einstein, and Spector in 1990 prescribed 6 steps to change management. Task alignment, reorganizing employee roles, responsibility, and relationship to solve specific business problem in small units where goal and task can be clearly defined. The first step is mobilize commitment to change through the joint analysis of the problem. Second step is develop a shared vision of how to organize and manage to achieve goals such as competitiveness. Third, foster consensus for the new vision, compete to enact it, and cohesion to move it along. The fourth, spread revitalization to all departments without pushing it from the top down force. The issue, let each department find its own way to the new organization. The fifth, institutionalize revitalization through formal policies, system, and structure. Six, monitor and adjust strategies in response to problem in revitalization process. Okay, the next section is organizational transformation. Organizational transformation is the process of ensuring that an organization can develop and implement major change programs that will ensure that it responds strategically to new demand and continue to function effectively in dynamic environment in which it operates. The distinction between organization development and organizational transformation, that organization development are systematic approach for the betterment of the organization by analyzing past experience, current situation, and future objective, while organization transformation are rigid and rapid approach to stabilize or improving the organization by analyzing the current business situation. Okay, there is a type of change. The first is change in what drives the organization. For example, from product-driven to market-driven. A fundamental change in relationship between or among organization parts, for example, decentralization or centralization. A major change in the way of doing work, the introduction, for example, the introduction of new technologies such as computer integrated manufacturing. A basic cultural change in norm, value, or research system. For example, developing customer-focused culture. There is a transformation through leadership. Transformation programs are led from the top within the organization. They do not rely on external change again. Although specialist external advice might be obtained on aspects of the transformation such as strategic planning, reorganization, or developing new reward process, the prerequisite for a successful program is the presence of a transformational leader who motivates others to strive for higher order goal rather than merely short-term interests. Managing the transition. The transition from where the organization is to where the organization wants to be is the critical part of transformation program. Transition management starts from a definition of the future state and a diagnosis of present state. It is then necessary to define what has to be done to achieve the transformation. This means deciding on the new process, system, procedure, structure, product, and market to be developed. Having defined this, work can be programmed and the what resource required, like money, people, equipment, can be defined. The plan also need to communicate between people to make them aware what is happening. The transformation program. The transformation program start with first establishing a sense of urgency, examining market and competitive realities, identifying and discussing crisis, potential crisis, or major opportunities. Second, forming a powerful guiding coalition, assembling a group with enough power to lead the change effort, encouraging the group to work together as a team. Third, creating a vision to help direct the change effort, developing strategy for achieving that vision. Fourth, communicating the vision, using every vehicle possible to communicate the new vision and strategies, reaching new behavior by the example of guiding coalition. 5. Empowering others to act on the vision, getting rid of obstacles to change, changing system or structure that seriously undermine the vision, encouraging risk-taking and non-traditional ideas, activities, and action. 6. Planning for and creating short-term wins. Planning for visible performance improvement, creating those improvement, recognizing and rewarding employees involved in the improvement. 7. Consolidating improvement and producing still more change. Using increased credibility to change system, structure, and policies that don't fit the vision. Hiring, promoting, and developing employees who can implement the vision. Reinvigorating the process with new project, team, and change again. Institutionalize new approach. Articulating the connection between the new behavior and corporate success. Developing the means to ensure leadership development and succession. The role of human resource organizational transformation. Human resource should play a key role in organizational transformation by providing help and guidance in analysis and diagnosis. Human resource can advise on resourcing the program and planning and implementing the vital training, reward, communication, and improvement aspect of the process. It can anticipate people problem and deal with them before they become serious. If the program does involve restructuring and downsizing, XR can advise on how this should be done humanly and with minimum disruption to people lives. Development and change process. Team building. Team building activities aim to improve and develop the effectiveness of a group of people who work together. This improvement might be defined in terms of output, for example, the speed and quality of the decision and action produced by them. It may also be defined in more nebulous terms, such as the quality of relationship or greater cooperation. Team building activities can be increase awareness of the social process that take place within team, develop the interactive or interpersonal skill that enable individual to function effectively as team member, increase the overall effectiveness with which team operate in the organization. To be effective, team building program should be directly relevant to the responsibility of the participant and be seen as relevant by all participants. They need to support business's objective, fit in practical working arrangement, and reflect the value of the organization wishes to promote. Approaches such as action learning, group dynamic, group exercise, interactive skill training, interactive video, role playing, and simulation can be used. There's also outdoor learning. Outdoor learning is another good method of providing team building training. It can offer a closer approximation to reality than other forms of training. Participants tend to behave more normally and paradoxically. It is precisely because the tasks are unrelated to work activities and are relatively simple that they highlight the process involved in teamwork and provide a good basis for identifying how this problem can be improved. Total quality management. Total quality management is an intensive long-term effort directed at the creation and maintenance of the high standard of product quality and services expected by customer. As such, it can operate as a major influence in developing the culture and process of the organization. The object is significantly to increase the awareness of all employees that quality is vital to the organizational success and their future. Continuous improvement. The keyword are focus. Continuous improvement address specific issue where the effectiveness of operation and process need to be improved. Second, continuous. The search for improvement is never ending. Third, incremental, adopting a steady step-by-step approach to improve the way the organization goes about doing things. The fourth is innovation, the new idea approach to deal with new and old problem and requirement. So, continuous improvement are philosophy said about what can be done better. Business process re-engineering. Business process re-engineering as a panacea emerged in 1990s. It examined process horizontally in organization to establish how they can be integrated more effectively and streamlined. Re-engineering exercise can be provide an overall approach to developing an organization, but they often promise more than they achieve, and they have been criticized because they pay insufficient attention to the human element. The last is performance management. Performance management as a holistic, all-embracing process for managing performance throughout an organization is one of the most commonly used instruments for improving organizational effectiveness. Okay, we are now arrived on the last section, which is discussion time. Before I give you guys a quiz, do you guys have any question?
Hello, Wahyu.
Hello, Kevin.
Okay, I have a question.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Okay, thank you. Can you give me more difference between organizational development and organizational transformations?
Okay, thank you, Kevin, for the question. Anyone more want to ask?
Hello, Wahyu. I want to ask.
Hello, Bagas. Go ahead.
Okay. Could you give example of business process re-engineering?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Bagas.
Okay.
Anyone more want to ask?
Hello, Wahyu.
Hello.
So I want to ask, what is the leadership requirement to make transformation success? Thank you.
Thank you, Ila. Okay, anyone more?
Hello, Ayu.
Hello, Andrian.
Okay, I want to ask who are leading the change in change management?
Oh, okay, thank you. Anyone more want to ask?
Hello, Ayu. I want to ask how to create a sense of urgency to transform organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Dewi. Okay, there is already a 5 question. I think that's enough, and I will try to answer them. In the meantime, you can watch organization development in practice from most beloved organization, which is Disney.
My name's Todd. I am part of the organizational development team here at the Disneyland Resort. We're in the business of live entertainment and there's constant change. So what we do within organizational development and HR is to provide them with the tools that they need in order to successfully manage that change through. It's so critical in this business to be adaptive to what our guest needs are, what our cast needs are. And so we're always trying to drive just a little bit of provocative thinking and thought leadership around how to think differently in the organization. My role is to really look at tying together what we're doing from an enterprise and a segment and a site perspective so that they really are integrated in how we approach the problems. And ultimately, I don't own the problem. I don't necessarily own the solution. My role is to help coach our leaders through it so that they really can be best situated to drive things to where they need to be. So I think of myself as a leadership development coach, and my role is to help our leaders be successful. I go out to the operation as much as I can and in costume and experience what our cast members do and feel on a daily basis with our guests. I get so much from that every single time. I get at least as much from that as I do from talking to our senior leaders here within the resort, because it's just two perspectives about how we do what we do. I like to observe what's going on. I love to hear what our guests are saying. I love to hear what our cast are saying. They're out there talking to the guests and creating these magical memories that last a lifetime. It's amazing to see sort of the dedication of our cast members and how do we create an environment by which we're constantly supporting them, helping develop their careers, helping provide the infrastructure so that they can be successful. That's really cool. Well, the cast drives the guest experience. And so everything that we do here within HR is around how to make it a great cast experience. To do that, what we've learned over time is that the leadership is critical. Leadership matters. And so what we do is try to support our leaders in how they do their jobs so that they can provide the best support for our cast members. And when the cast members are present and engaged, then the guest has a fantastic experience. And so it's all very synergistic. I love what I do. I can't express it more. I have the ability to go to any line of business within the segment and talk to them about how to make this a great place to work. And so in my head, I call myself a chief happiness officer, that my role is to help make this a place that people want to skip to work at every day. I get to tell my nieces and nephews, I get to come to the Disneyland Resort and work at Disneyland. It's like, how many people's dreams are that?
Okay, I think I figured out all the answer of the question. I think I will start from Kevin first. So the Kevin question is, can you give more difference between organizational development and organizational transformation? Okay, organizational transformation is originated by top management as per business requirement. Whereas for organizational development, there is no need for the top management involvement. Department heads may take part in organizational development. A further difference is for sustainable organizational development. It is necessary to have an organizational strategy, adequate process, and relevant training. However, this is not required for sustainable organizational transformation. In certain instances, Organizational development may support the transformation process, but organizational transformation does not support the development process. Moreover, we can introduce organizational development as a systematic and flexible approach, whereas organizational transformation is not always systematic and may be a rigid approach. That is the answer. Are you satisfied, Kevin?
Okay, that's a great answer. Thank you, Wahyu.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. The next, I think I will be answer the question from Bagas. Could you give example of business process re-engineering? Completely redesigning the delivery of product can give unexpected result. In fast food restaurant, for instance, the process was going like all the other restaurant. The customer order, the order goes to the kitchen, which prepare the meal and then deliver to consumer. And then business process analysts realized that it will be more advantageous if the meal portion were previously prepared in separate center and delivered to the restaurant daily. When the customer order, staff place everything together and deliver it. This is a complete change in the process, resulting in greater control, fewer accidents, greater employee satisfaction, and increased ability to focus on customer need, all without losing quality. Are you satisfied, Bagas?
Okay, Wahyu, thank you for answer.
Okay, thank you, Bagas. The next is I want to answer question from Andrian, who are leading the change in change management. In making the analysis and diagnosis, the individual introducing the change. Who introducing the change is sometimes called the change agent. They are the one who should recognize that new ideas are likely to be suspect and should make ample provision for the discussion of reaction to proposal to ensure complete understanding of them. Are you satisfied, Andrian?
Okay, thank you for the answer, Wahyu.
Okay, thank you, Andrian. The next I want to answer from Willa question. What requirement to leadership to make transformation success? The requirement for successful program is the presence of a transformational leader who motivate others to strive for higher order goal rather than merely short-term interest. Transformational leader go beyond dealing with day-to-day management problem. They commit people to action and focus on the development of new level of awareness of where the future lies and commitment to achieving that future. It is contrast to transformational leader with transactional leader who operate by building up a network of interpersonal transactions in a stable situation and who enlist compliance rather than commitment through the reward system and the exercise of authority and power. Transactional leader may be good at dealing with here and now problem, but they will not provide the vision required to transform the future. Are you satisfied with the answer, Willa?
Okay, that's a good answer. Thank you, Wahyu.
Thank you. Okay, I want to answer the last question from Dewi. How to create a sense of urgency to transform organization? I think I can think 3 examples of creating a sense of urgency to transform organization. The first is build a culture of urgency before it's required. Develop an awareness and sensitivity for finding potential problem before they have time to become critical and urgent. The second is make it personal. Paint a picture for the employee of how the condition may impact their work and job negatively if not done, and how it can enrich their job when situation is dealt with successfully. The third is empower employee to deliver. Giving the autonomy to make decisions and feel accountable and responsible for success eases anxiety. For example, IT leader must avoid writing the direct report or micromanaging. Let people get on with the job. Constantly asking for update when people are working hard toward a tight deadline adds frustration and is generally unhelpful to the people doing the work. Are you satisfied with the answer, Dewi?
Okay, that's good answer. Thank you, Wahyu.
Okay, it's been answered all the question. The next section is a quiz. Do you guys want to answer my quiz? Anyone want to answer my quiz? It doesn't need to be in order. You can pick any number.
Hello, Wahyu.
Hello, Tiffany.
I want to ask questions number 5.
Okay.
The question is, if you have a vision, how you will empower people to act on the vision? My answer is by removing obstacles. This keeps my team engaged and deflects the otherwise destructive frustration involved when teams are unable to execute and there is insufficient leadership or courage in my company. And also by having a manner with the vision and also corporate culture and values model within my organizations. That is my answer.
Okay, thank you, Tiffany. That's a good answer. It
Thank
also
you.
use a guiding
Wahyu.
coalition, which is a second program in how to make a good program of change. Thank you, Tiffany. Anyone want to answer?
May I answer the question number 4?
Okay, go ahead, Irfani.
Okay, so hello, I'm Irfani. So for this question, that do you have found other ways learning team building in practice? So actually, I ever found that to create a team building that in outdoor, one of the ways by executing the camping. And by spending a night at camping as an outdoor team building activity, we will get to see a different side of teammates, and then we have not seen before. And then by working together to pitch up at a tent and build a campsite, we will feel like we each have something together, and that situation and so that condition make us bonding each other. And then I think is the way to create or to build a team to have a like a building to make a team building, I think, in the outdoor base.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Irfani. Anyone want to answer?
Wahyu, can I answer for number 3?
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So the question is, can you give an example, major change in the ways of doing work? And my answer is, technology has completely changed the way companies collaborate. And then technology has helped us connect with people anywhere at any times. And then this is increased collaboration has brought a high level of flexibility in communication that allows employee or managers to connect with each other easily. That's my answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Yaya, for the answer. That's a good answer. Okay, anyone want to answer more?
Hello, Wahyu.
Hello, Andrian.
May I answer number 1?
Yes, please.
Okay, the question is, what is the basis of organizational development? And my answer is, organizational development is a critical based on behavior science-based process that help organizations build their capacity to change and achieve greater effectiveness by developing, improving, and reinforcing strategies, structure, and process. That is my answer. Thank you, Wahyu.
Okay, thank you, Andrian, for the answer. I think it's left with number 2. Anyone to answer number 2?
Hello, Wahyu. Can I try to answer it?
Okay, go ahead, Kevin.
Okay, thank you. And the question why there is a change model, because change management models provide specific guidelines to help organization through the process of planning and implementing change more successfully. Because to manage change, it is first necessary to understand the types of change, right, and why people resist change. It is also important to bear in mind that while those wanting change need to be constant about ends, and they have to be flexible about means. That's my answer.
Okay, thank you, Kevin, for the answer.
Okay, thank you.
I think that's mark at the end of my presentation. Thank you for guys for the participation and listening to my voice. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Adi.
Okay, I think it's good, yeah. So Wayu Andika talks about OD, organizational development. So when we talk OD, so we talk about change and transformation, so right? The word development relates to the word change and development. So this Wayu Andika has involved 10 students in discussion. So there are 5 questioners. They are Kevin Nathanael, Muhammad Araji Bagas, yeah, and then Vila Shola, and Yando, and Devi Nani, and the audience who answer your questions also are 5 students: Kevin, Irfani, and Adelia Pudariko, and then Yando and Kevin Nathanael. Yes, and so they can give a good answer. Yeah. So as we know that, so organizational obviously entity needs to do development, yeah, needs to develop the organization. So that is very important. Like you, so you also need to develop yourselves. What should you do if you want to develop yourself? What should you do if you want to develop yourself? What should you have first if you want to develop yourself? So I think organizational development start from the individual development. So that if the individual wants to develop, so the organization also can be developed. So that. Okay, so when you want to develop yourself, what should you do? Well, give opinion. When you want to develop yourself, what should you do? Or what should you have if you want to develop yourself? What should you do? It's for yourself. So every student must develop themselves. Yeah. So if you want to be successful in your life, in your studies, so you must develop yourself. If you never develop yourself, you will not be successful in the competition in your competitions, yeah, in your life. So what should you do to develop yourself? We'll give quick answer, or who said this? Who said the answer? Nobody want to give opinion? The student. So for yourself, so how to develop yourself? What should you have to develop yourself?
I think we can develop ourselves by get out of our comfort zone, sir, by trying new things that we never done before.
And the way you
maybe if we want to improve ourselves, we can see a webinar, or we can meet a lot of people that have a lot of experience, so that we can learn anything from them.
Okay, good. The other opinion?
I think if we want to develop ourselves, I think that the first thing that we have to do is getting to know ourselves first. Yeah. Like we should know what are we do, what is the aspect that we are the most good at, and then we can after we know that, we can develop ourselves. Yeah. We can utilize everything that we have and making the most of it that we are really good at. So okay, that is my opinion.
Okay, good answer, good opinion. And other maybe? Yeah, so many ways, yeah. So many ways, the most important that you must, so you don't resist to change, yeah. You don't resist to change. So if you resist to change, you cannot develop yourself, so right? So you need change. So that change is very important. So you must make your change. Okay, so the first maybe we can do short analysis, yeah. What is our weakness and what is our strength, so that, and we can do, and then we can change, yeah, and develop ourselves, yeah. And we also look at the external conditions, so that the competition in our lives, so that. So if we don't change, if we don't develop ourselves, we cannot compete, yeah, in our lives, so that. Competition is getting suffer and suffer nowadays, yeah. How to get jobs, so that, yeah. If you want to get good job, yeah, so you must change. You must develop yourself by reading, by studying, by learning from other people, so that, by getting to know the people, so that, by watching, yeah, good YouTube, good video, yeah, by attending the seminars, yeah, trainings. It's also one of the ways to develop yourself. Yeah, so the good development is start from you yourself, yeah. Yeah, so it is like in the company. So if you are the manager, so that, yeah, so the company must look at the situation, must analyze the environment. Yeah, the environment is as dynamic, so that, yeah, the competition is getting suffer and suffer in the marketplace. Yeah, so the company must develop the organization to face the competition, so that. So whom are developed in the company? The people, select the people, yeah, the people. So if the company want to go smooth, so the company must change and transport and adapt to the technology. So to the transformation, so that, and organizational development can be done successfully by the good leader, yeah, good manager, so that, and the leader or the manager like to change, yeah, like to develop, but yeah, don't resist the change, yeah, don't resist change, yeah. So if the leaders resist to change, it's not good, yeah. And if the people in the company resist change, it's not good, so that. So it means that good leader must be able to make the people want to change, so that, and transform to the technology, yeah. This is the essence of this. Is the in this chapter, yeah. But it's not easy to make the people change, so that. So when you will study change management, gitu, yeah. So there is a special subject talking about change management. Maybe in the 5th or 6th semester, I don't know. Yeah, so change management. So Mr. Renat Kasali, Professor Dr. Renat Kasali, writes the book on change. Yeah, the book on change, yeah, written by Renat Kasali. You can read the books written by Renat Kasali. So Mr. Renat Kasali talk about change. What is change? So that why do the people need change? So that, do you need change in your life? Do you resist change? Do you resist change in your life? As of this, do you resist change in your life?
No, sir.
No. Okay, good. So why don't you resist change in your life?
Because if we don't want to change, we are going to stuck on what
Okay,
we are having right now.
So if you are the manager in the company and your people resist change, what will you do? You are the manager in the company and your people resist change. What will you do to help your people resisting change? What will you do? Sometimes when you meet your people, some of the people want to change and some of the people don't like change, so that, or change lovers and change haters, so that, yeah. Some people like the old ways and some other people like new ways of doing something. So you has explained why the people don't like change, yeah. Okay, if you're the manager, what should do before you do change? So in order that the people don't resist change, what should you do as a manager in the company? Anyone want to answer?
I think communication is the key, sir.
Yeah, communication. Okay, and then communication. Okay, Communication, you said. Yeah, so you must communicate the change before you to your people, before you do the change, right? And when the change is suddenly done without communication, so your people will be confused and of course, they resist change, right? And you must explain the way why the change is very necessary for the company, right? Okay, so there are three ways how to form the chain. So first, unfreezing, and then what is unfreezing, freezing, and then unfreezing, changing, and refreezing. Yeah. So you must what is unfreezing? So in unfreezing in the unfreezing state, you must communicate why change is necessary to your people. Right? What is the advantage? Right? So if this is the way. Yeah. So communication. Of course, the good communication, good relationship is demanded. It's demanded, and the manager must have this. Yeah. Okay. So, what is the relationship between change and performance on transformation? So, can you transform without change? Can you do transformation without change? So the word change and transformation is interrelated, right? Yeah. If you want to do transformation, you must change, right? Is that true? Yeah. To do transformation, you must change. The people or the person can change to do transformation, right? Yeah. So transformation is very important, yeah, to adapt to the new technology, yeah. Some the people also afraid of change, yeah, afraid of change because of the economic, yeah, because the people don't know how to do the new things, right? Because now we live in the new economic era, in the new economy, right? We live in the era of new economy. What is new economy? Do you know what is new economy? Do you know what is new economy? So everything is digitalized, right? In our everyday life, so we use technology to do anything, right? If you want to buy something, you can use technology. Yes, it is new economy, right? If you want to transfer your money to your friend, you can also use technology, yeah. It's called new economy. So the people must also do transformation in their lives, right? So so we must learn how to use technology, right? The lecturers must do transformation, yeah. The student also must do transformation. So what is the requirement to do transformation? So one word change, yeah, one word change, and you must manage change. Your change, yeah, your change must be strategic, right? Yeah, your change must be strategic. It means that the change you have done, must contribute to your performance, right? To your success, yeah. But if the change you have done is not beneficial to you, it's not strategic change, right? Yeah. So the change you must do must be strategic in your life, and the strategic and the change done by the company also must be strategic for the company. So must be able to contribute to the profit, must be able to contribute to the performance of the company. So if the company does change, but without contribution to the company or the performance, it is a bad change, right? So there will be a bad change and a good change, right? Good change is strategic. Bad change is not strategic, yeah. So you must learn how to do change, yeah. Don't not only change, but you must learn what should you do before you change, right? You must learn the situation. You must do the environment analysis, right? And what should you do? And what should you learn? And you do change. And you do transformations, right? Okay, any question? But the best way nowadays, yeah, we must do working in a team, yeah, team building, yeah, team buildings, yeah. It's a good way, not individually, yeah. So why team building is very important, because we put our head together, to solve the problem. So when you work together, and then you must put your head together, so you can solve. Each member can give opinion, share his opinion, and how to solve the problem, and you can exchange minds, yeah, among the groups, yeah. Okay, like one of the ways is outdoor, like outbound, yeah. Outbound is the one of the way in team building, of doing something. Okay, any question? Is it clear? So I think the Mr. Wahyu expression is good, yeah. It can be understood, yeah. So you can watch this video later many times, so you can understand this article or this topic about of development. In essence, so when you run business, so you must do development every time. You must do continuous improvement, right? Yeah, you must do continuous improvement is very important in the company. And also continuous improvement is also important in our lives, right? You must do continuous improvement in your life. Not only in the company, in your life. Continuous improvement is very important. You must study and study to improve, to develop yourself, so you can get improved all the time, so right? And you can increase the quality, yeah, of yourself, yeah. Total quality management is also very important. To have a good total quality management, so we must also have develop ourselves, and we must train and do the information. Yeah, in essence, so we must keep studying and studying, yeah. Is the essence in our life. So never stop studying. We must study all the time, so that to do continuous improvement. Okay, yeah. So this topic is very important, yeah. Not only for organization but only for yourself in your life. If you want to be successful, so you must develop yourself, so that if the company want to be successful in the competition, the company must also develop the organization, so that develop the people, develop the way of doing the work, because OD focus on the process of in which work is done, so that so OD is focused on the process. So we must change the process. We must develop the process. Yeah, we must analyze the process if we want to be successful in our companies. Yeah. Okay. Before we end this program, discuss. Let you please give the closing comment if you don't have any opinion. Yeah. So what have you got from values chapter, and how do you implement this chapter in yourself and at work if you have got a job in the future? Okay, please from Ivani, please.
Okay, good morning, everyone. So thank you so much for Wahyu, who has delivered the presentation really well. And then today I'll learn about the organizational development and change and also transformation. And I'll learn about that. I got something that if you want to have a transformation, you need in order to have a better improvement or an order of transformation. And it's really important to us is the change, because without the challenge, without the change, we cannot do improve ourselves, or we cannot do have a transformation. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Tiffany, please.
Okay, first of all, I want to say thank you for Wahyu and also Sir for explaining about chapter 24, which is organizational development, change, and transformation. And we surely get so many new things from that. And I think that, in my opinion, change is not always bad. It sometimes brings us a very good impact, since we can take a risk and then we can change into the better version of ourselves in our life. Thank you.
Okay, Putri Hermania.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
You for presented our material today about organizational development and transformation. So I hope I can get the new insight from the others' presentation. Thank you.
Please. Tata. Halo, Tata.
Sir.
Yeah.
Tata have a bad connection.
Yeah. Okay, Tasha, please, Tasha.
Okay, thank you, sir. From Wahyu Andika presentation, I have a lot of new knowledge about organizational development, change, and transformation. And in my future, I will use this knowledge if I work. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Willa Sela Gracia.
So from today's meeting, we learned a lot about the organizational development. So organizational development can be used for the organizational resources to improve efficiency and productivity in the workplace. I hope that in the future, I can be a good leader so that I can make my employees change into the better version of them. Because as we know that in order for a company to develop and change, we need to do a transformation. Thank you.
Okay. Asawayuni. Asawayuni, still back connection. Okay. Evilia.
Hello.
Hello.
Sir Adi.
Okay, Arsa, please.
Thank you, Sir Adi and Wahyu, for the presentation. I hope we can get more insight from this topic. Thank you.
Okay. Evelia Teresia.
Okay, so hello everyone and hello sir.
Hello.
So thank you for the presentation today. We learned a lot of new information, and I also learned about how change and development is going to have something in our life. And then as a future leader or manager, maybe I think that today's presentation is going to be a lot more information for me, and I hope I can get a new insight from today's presentation in the future and now. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Elisa Febrianti. Adelia Putiadiko. Adelia. Hello, Adelia. Andrian Yondo.
Yes, sir. From today material, I got new insight about organizational development and change. And in my opinion, change is not always about good or bad, but it depends on us to make it good or bad. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Wahyu Andika.
Okay, thank you. I'm thankful today my presentation are run well. What I've learned from my presentation and from Sir Adi is on individual level, I think we must aware of the change or development, because sometimes change can be happen without us asking. Thank you.
Okay. Kevin Nathanael.
Okay, hello again, everyone. First, I would like to say thank you for Wahyu for giving a great presentation, and thank you, Sir Adi, also for giving a bit further explanation and example. What I got from today's presentation is I get to know what is change model and why change model can be helpful for the organizational change. And if someday I will become a manager, I know how to planning and implementing change more successfully. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Dewi Winarni.
Thank you. Thank you. Today, I hope that the presentation next week run well. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Muhammad Arazi Basgara.
Okay, sir. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Sir Adi, and thank you, Wahyu, for presentation. Today I learned about organizational development is an emerging field of scholarship and practice that support effectiveness and vitality in organization and communities. Thank you, sir.
Dewi Tita Safitri.
So thank you, sir, and thank you for Wahyu for the person that for us today. Hello, sir.
Halo, ya. Ya, diajak Pak, diajak. Ya. Halo, ya Neta, please, Tita, please, halo.
Yes, sir. Okay, so thank you, sir, and thank you for Wahyu for the presentation today. So now I know what is the organizational development in HR, like change and improvement of the process structure, which part of the HR responsibility, and how to develop ourselves in the workplace in our lives. So I hope this information will be help me and us in the future to be good person. Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome. Okay, so I think so we'll present next week.
Me, sir, Tiffany.
What's the topic?
HR planning.
HR planning, yeah. So okay, I think thank you very much for your attention and your coming to the meeting here. At this time for me to say goodbye. So I hope that this material can be beneficial to you, and you can implement this theory in your life and at work when you have got work. Yeah. Okay. See you later next week. Yeah, with the next topic. Yeah. I'll see you later next week. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.